So I moved back to RBO. Got a PB. Oh, it was January. I thought I did. That's right. Any percent, I decided after the second weekend in January, I'd be done. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Something like that. Okay. So January 17th. So like right out of the gate, I PB in RBO. Okay. 10 days later, I PB again. A few weeks later, I PB again. First try Taco Tank, terrible, everything else. And then 2 world records in 1 day. So I got this and then I got that. So back-to-back world records. So that's funny. And then there's this 5607, and this is still currently the run, and it happened 3 days later. And the thing that's so special about this run to me is, as I mentioned earlier, I think I talked about this earlier, this run is not perfect. This run is very improvable. There are people that could definitely beat this run by a lot right now. And also, this is close to, but not the 55 milestone. And I've had so much success in RBO as a category. Again, if you look at this, these are all world records. Everywhere that it says ShinyZeni here, these are all world records. I'm so satisfied with RBO, right? This run was the first 37 in game time. Not that that matters that much, but it's cool. And it hit everything that I wanted it to, even though it had some bad mistakes in Meridia and stuff. It had first try Taco Tank. It had a good moon dance. It had the Botwoon Shine Spark. Good enough. Right? Good enough, man. So we'll watch that. We'll watch the pop off for that. And then I will move on to the next thing. So, okay. So some of you have probably heard this. But I'm a creep. Well, not that, but yes. So first of all, I start off this run by singing Creep in like the most cringy way ever. And it's really funny because if you look at the average view time for this video on my YouTube, people exit this video a little faster than they exit most of my other videos. And it's because of the Creep acapella. Rock Band 1. Okay, so, but what I was getting at was, you've probably heard this soundbite before. Yes! We did it! Okay, so that sounds funny. This is actually a pretty important moment for me because when I look at it, I mean, you guys know all about Zeni noises, right? Zeni noises never went away, but Zeni noises and Zeni singing took a serious backseat from 2019 to 2022. Later on in 2022, they started kind of coming back more. And as of 2023, I started finding that within myself again to make stupid noises and to like exaggerate them because that's just me. That's just who I am. That's how I am. And yeah, it can be kind of cringy sometimes, but like people stick around anyway if they like me. And that's the kind of people that I want here with me is people that like me for me. Yes! We did it! So this moment is actually pretty special to me because it was one of those things where like, yes, I was excited about that, but honestly, my reaction here, yes! We did it! Like I intentionally exaggerated that. And that is not something that I had been doing for a long time. And when I'm like intentionally exaggerating stuff like that, or when I'm like over the top singing, that's how you know that I'm doing okay, truly. And I've said this before, if I ever stop singing completely, chat, if I ever stop singing completely, that's when you need to be worried about me, straight up. If I'm not singing, you guys should be worried, just so you know. So we do that. We got a good moon dance. Pace is looking good. You can see that up here. Top left. This is looking pretty good. Lost some time, gained some time. I mean, pretty standard for RBO, if we're being honest. Gain a bunch of time at Ridley. That's great. There's a lot of RNG in this run that it's sometimes you just can't do anything about it. Okay. Get the Botwoon Spark. Save a handful of seconds. Get to Dragon. Dragon fight seems like it went okay. Lost 7-8 seconds there. Okay. This is the worst part of the run right here, if I recall. Maybe not. Okay, I guess that was fine. There were bad mistakes in this. I don't remember exactly where, but there were. So we lost more time, gained some time, lost a little time, lost some more time. We gotta finish out the run. Good enough, man. Good enough. Let's freaking go, dude. Yes, it's not a 55. I don't care. I didn't care about a 55. I wanted a clean AF run. That was a clean run. We got kind of shafted in a couple spots. That's okay. That's okay. Sick. That is like, what a healthy reaction. You know what I mean? It's just such a healthy reaction. Like, was it the most insane pop off ever? No. But like, clearly, like, I was excited and I was okay with the imperfections in the run. And I also wasn't like exploding with emotion because I had been suppressing it for so long. Like, you know, it's just, you can just tell like I'm doing a lot better here, right? So yeah, so that was good. And I put RBO to bed for me with that. The only reason I will ever go back to RBO is if somebody else new shows up, gets the 55, and I feel like putting my weight into it, I might go back to it if I'm even still around at that point. Or if someone like Zost gets a 55, I might go back, you know, because at that point, some of that is, some of the barrier there is gone. But anyway, yeah, so after RBO, I decided that I would go back to 100%. Now, this is not just me deciding on a whim to go back to 100%. I do want someone else to be able to get the 55. So that's why I'm saying, like, if somebody like Zost got the 55, that would remove somewhat of a barrier for me to want to run RBO again, because a big motivator for me to not run it right now is that I want someone new to be able to have that experience of being the first to reach the milestone like that. But it's cool. There's nobody gunning for it right now, as far as I know. I do hope if somebody does start gunning for it, I hope they do it with the same route rather than like a G mode route or something like that. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. So this was in February, okay? I decided to go back to 100% because I've explained 100% is a stressful category. It's important to me. That makes it emotional. I wasn't sure if I wanted to invest emotionally in it again, but Zost and I had submitted, or were submitting, Metroid co-op to GDQ this year, 2023. And the best way for me to practice that would be to just run 100%. So I started running hundo again, and I took that very slow and very casually and very cautiously, making sure to keep tabs on myself and my mental state and how I was feeling and being willing to take breaks and whatever, right? As much as I needed to. And so I didn't even PB until June, which was after our GDQ. GDQ that year was in May, if I recall, which was like really early. Okay, so after GDQ happened, I had a renewed sense of energy and passion and focus for the game and the category. And I was like, okay, well, you know what? I am already derusted in 100%. And I had officially decided I wanted to run a 100% tournament for SG Live that year. Eddie had run the Any Percent tournament for 2022. I really wanted to see a 100% tournament that year. Eddie wasn't willing to run any tournament, which makes sense. So it's funny because I think I reached out to Kip and I was like, hey, so I would like to, how did I put it? I was like, I would like to see another 100% tournament in the community. The last time we had one was in 2020. I think it would be really good for the community. I would be willing to put in some seed money for it. I had approached Kip previously about that 2020 tournament, and he helped organize it, if I recall. So that's why I went back to him, and Kip was like, I'll get in touch with somebody and they'll let you know. I was not willing to be an organizer. I just wanted to try and help get the wheels turning on it. So what's funny is after I messaged Kip, I then got a message from the speed gaming team, and they were like, Kip said you wanted to see a 100% tournament. We kind of want to do it for SG Live. And I was like, that's cool. And they're like, will you run it? I was like, I don't know. It's like, I suck at that sort of thing, guys. I don't know if I can do that. And they're like, it's okay. We'll help you. It'll be fine. And I was like, I don't know. And again, keep in mind, I was only a year and a half into my recovery from burnout. So like, it was really hard for me to put any effort into anything if I wasn't super passionate about it. Basically, I only had enough, I'll put effort into this if I don't care about it, for my job. If it wasn't my job and I didn't care about it, not happening. Yard work, nah. Dishes, only if they have to be done. Other housework, only if it has to be done. Like, it was so hard for me to motivate myself to do stuff. And as somebody who I was not confident at all in organizing any sort of event, I was not ready for that sort of a commitment. But what's funny is the Speed Gaming team sort of strong-armed me into it. And thankfully, Sassy said that she was willing to help. And QZ said that he was willing to help. And I was like, okay, I really want to see this tournament happen. My wife will be here supporting me. My friend will be here supporting me. It'll be okay. So we committed to organizing the tournament. I leaned on them hard for that. And I made sure to make that very clear. QZ wanted to help a lot, but he didn't want to be the face of it. And so basically, like, I was the face of the organizer team, but Sassy and QZ did way more work with that than I did. But knowing that we were getting the wheels turning on organizing the 100% tournament, I decided to continue pushing the category. And so shortly after we got back from GDQ, I got a 1:12:47. Now, what's really funny about this run, it was a 1-round Fantoon. Okay, it was the first ever world record to have a 1-round Fantoon, which I was really, really proud of. We can just skim through these splits here real quick. Sorry, I know this has been a very long stream, and this is gonna take a ton of editing to be good for YouTube, but whatever. 112s. So I have all my 112s in this separate folder here. 1:12:47.
That sucks. That was a really good pace.
Okay, so we will just skim through this. I'm gonna.
Well, like I said, that run was cursed.
Oh, jeez.
Gosh dang it! You're already cursing this one. What is wrong with you, people? Don't you want to see me get a good run?
Okay, so first of all, what do you notice about me here? I'm already being a freaking dork, right? There's memes on my stream. I'm being a dork. Like, this is so much more like me than I had been in a long time. Okay, all right. So we're just gonna skim through here. So we're behind. We're behind. We're behind by a lot. We're behind by even more. Okay. Now, if you remember, the 1:12:53 had a really strong early game, like insanely strong. We were minus 37 seconds at gravity. Okay. So being in the red here by 10 seconds, that's fine. 184 1-round Fantoons. 147 113s.
One super?
And only one 112.
Okay. Crappy energy too, man.
We got a 1-round, put us really -1, but we only have one super missile to work with, so that's bad. Okay, so we get to gravity, we're only +1. Keep in mind, that's +1 to a run that had a -37 pace at one point. Okay. Wait, the -37 was a 1:13:04, but the 1:12:53 was a similar pace to that. So again, being +1 here is actually really, really good. Best possible time is still in the 1:11 range. Like, that's how you know this was super, super solid. Okay. Anyway, so we get to Edicoons. We saved a bunch of time there. I don't actually remember what the deal with that is, but whatever. So we're on really strong pace.
1, 2.
Now we're barely ahead at Mama Turtle.
Through
-4.5, -2.2. I golded Screw Attack. Big deal. Lost some time to Ridley. -5 at Grapple. -4 at X-Ray. And now we're like even at G4. Okay. Now the funny thing about this is being even at G4, if you remember, in my 1:12:53, when I was like freaking out at the end, the first thing I said was, and I effed up Zeb Skip. So being even here, like, I still knew, like, okay, this can still record. I just have to not miss Zeb Skip, right? So we're through. I'm like, okay, like, this is real now. All I have to do is like have a fairly clean fight and clean escape, and we're good. So -6. Okay. And remember, keep in mind again, like, I hadn't had another 112 since the 1:12:53, which was middle of 2021. So this was almost 2 years later.
Let's freaking go, man! Oh, man! Let's go! Freaking Oats raids, dude!
Oh yeah, this had an Oats raid too. So my 113.04 had a notes raid, my 112.53 had a notes raid, and this run had a notes raid. Isn't that stupid? Anyway, this pop-off is great because it is expressive, it's exciting, and it's so healthy. Again, like, it's weird because if you look at this one side by side with the 112.55, like, in terms of like factually how they appear and sound, like they're similar, but man, like if you know me as a person or if you've spent a lot of time watching my stream, like you can just tell I was already in such a better place for this than I was for the first 112 that I got. So that was great, right? So we're doing good. Whoa, Nia, man, you're such a bully. Okay, so after the 112, there was this run. Okay, so it was a few weeks later. Now, what's really funny about this, let's go to the record progression page. 100% items. ShinyZeni 113.04, Zoast 112.55. ShinyZeni 112.53, ShinyZeni 112.47, ShinyZeni 112.41, Behemoth 112.41. Okay, so I get this 112.41. We can watch that real quick. And in true July fashion, I did not PB again for the rest of the month. And then on August 15th, Behemoth got a 112.41. He got a 112.41.0 compared to my 112.41.9. So I guess first off, we'll look at 112.41 world record. I don't know how to do this, to be honest. I'm just gonna do...
Thank you, Eccentric Meal, for the tier 1, 21 months.
Okay. So again, you know, I clearly am doing better in these runs than I had been in a long time. I think a big part of that is I was excited that I was excited about Hundo again, to be honest. Clearly this is a good pace. We're -7 at Mama Turtle, -4 at Dragon, and then -6.6 at Spring Ball. So like it's going pretty well. Lost a bunch of time on the way to Screw Attack. That segment is really hard. But then we gained a bunch of time at Ridley. More or less maintain pace and go to finish out the run.
What the heck was that pattern? Come on. All right. Nice, dude.
So yeah.
We lost a lot of time in a couple spots, but that was solid. That was really good. Oh,
so
boy.
What's interesting about this, so I mentioned, you know, we lost a lot of time in a couple spots. Right around here was where I started realizing, okay, prior to entering this 100% grind, yeah, no problem. Prior to entering the 100% grind in earnest, I was thinking, okay, I missed the first 112, but maybe if I work really hard and I'm really lucky, maybe I can get the first 41 in game time. Okay. The thing is, in order to do that, I knew that I'd have to work really hard. And as I mentioned a few minutes ago, it was hard for me to put effort into anything. And so the idea of that was kind of scary, right? Because like I didn't want to put so much effort and energy into something and then have it blow back in my face, you know, again. So that being said, this PB was very encouraging because it was like, oh, we're at 112.41 and I lost a bunch of time. And I think 41 in-game time would probably be around 112.30, 112.29, 112.31, you know, like somewhere around there with the strats that I was doing. And I don't think we had 2 cries. We did not have 2 cries yet. So I knew that we had time to save, right? But anyway, this was really encouraging. However, then I was not able to PB for a while, and then Behemoth took record. And what's really funny is Behemoth took the record, and I want to say Sassy said something that ended up coming true that made him get record. And it's really funny because, I mean, Sassy is so crazy supportive of me, you guys. Like, it's actually, I'm so lucky, to be honest. But she makes it a point sometimes to make sure she's keeping me humble. And one of the ways that she does that, you said something, I don't remember what it was, but you said something about how Behe was gonna take the record, and then he did. And you know what? I bet it's in his run. So remember, I have a 112.41.9, right? So this is like very close. I'm in chat for this, by the way.
Man.
I'm like 99% sure I'm in chat for this. I swear I remember this happening. And there's Sassy. It's happening.
Oh, God, why did I miss the door? I may have got that? God, what a cringe ending. Jeez.
Yeah, okay. Holy, what the just happened? Is that tied world record? Holy, let's go. So like, I was clearly very excited, but what's so funny about it is like, this run, like look at these splits. They kind of came out of nowhere,
Wow,
right?
that's
Which is
crazy,
so,
dude.
it's so funny because Behemoth's previous PB to this
Oh my God.
was very much like my previous PB where he had a 112.55. So he was tied with Zost, if I recall. And he got that. Is that right? I don't remember. I mean, we can go back. It's pretty easy. 112.55. So he was technically tied with Zost, not to the frame or anything, but and he'd come back to the category and he was participating in the tournament and he was having a hard time getting another 112. And he had said prior to it, you know, I had actually, I can be a little vulnerable about this. That's fine. I had been really worried about Behemoth taking my record, my 112.53, because I was not ready to come back. And I knew that people would ask me to if he did. When he got his 112.55, it was very clear that he was capable of something better. And he actually continued for a little bit after that. And then he stopped. During his break, he was on break from Super Metroid completely at the time. When he first came back, he wasn't sure if he wanted to do Hundo or KPDR or GT Classic. And I remember us talking about Hundo and I was like, yeah, I mean, you could definitely take record, man. And he said something really interesting to me. He said something along the lines of, Zeni, there are few things that scare me as much as the numbers 112. I was like, you already have a 112, man. And like your run made it very clear, like you could have done better. Like, I don't know why you're so worried. His 112 and Zost's 112 were both technically better than mine. My 112.53 was a fast, and I want to say Zost's was some slower pattern, and Behemoth's was like a slow mid or something. Like, so anyway, clearly he was capable of more, right? And so he gets this run, and very much like mine, like he had been running. And he couldn't get another 112, and he couldn't get another 112, and he couldn't, and then he got this run that was just really good. So he's really happy about it, obviously. Sassy,
God, what a cringe ending.
literally, Sassy made this happen. I don't remember how. I think I actually have a screenshot of this. Dun, 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 dun. We're gonna switch scenes. We're gonna do the thing. Okay. Sassy technically is the 100% world record holder. Okay, here we go. Okay. This screenshot tells part of the story. It doesn't tell the whole story. She did. She said something like, give it 3 weeks or something. So yeah, she said something like, give it 3 weeks or give it, you know, time. Like, because Behe congratulated me, I think, on one of my records. I think that's what it was. It was probably in the 112.41. I think Behe congratulated me and then Sassy responded. It was like, give it 3 weeks or something. Give it 6 weeks. I don't know. Anyway, so when he got on this pace, there was some comment made about how he wasn't going to be able to world record. And then Sassy was like, I give it X amount of time. And I walked into her office. She was spectating one of the Hundo races for the tournament that we were running. And I took her mouse and I opened his stream and I said, this is your fault. There was his pace. And we sat and watched it. And then he took the record by less than a second, which was really funny. Okay. So here's what's even more funny about that. Okay. So let me switch back to this right here. And we're going to go back to this record progression page. We're going to look at this. So 112.41 ShinyZeni, July 11th, 2023. 112.41 Behemoth, August 15th, 2023. 112.40 ShinyZeni, August 16th, 2023. So in Behemoth's run, he said something about how I would get the record back soon. And I said, yeah, it'll probably happen in the next 48 hours or it won't happen for 6 months. Like completely joking. And then one day later, one freaking day later, man. Let me find this. So what's especially funny about this is that Live Split crashed, so I had to frame count it. Live Split crashed out the gate, okay? So I had to frame count it. But I was just like it crashed and I didn't have the motivation to reset. I was like, whatever, I don't care.
Well, that's time. I don't know. It's, you know, I'm pretty dang sure that's a 112, but I don't know. I don't know. It's probably like a 112.47 or a 112.52. Maybe it's a 113.17. I don't freaking know, dude. I don't know.
What?
It's a 112.40.40.
No way.
So it's world record
By like half a second?
by 21 frames. 21 frames, you guys! World record by 21 frames.
The next day.
Split run. One day after Behemoth. But it's still not a 3x.
All right, but it's still not a 3x. A couple weeks later, got a 112.39, and that was the first run that we had 2 cries. So 2 cries is really cool. I won't spend too much time talking about it, but the short version is that 2 cries is basically a human version of what the task did to manipulate the mother brain cutscene to be so fast. And
What are you doing?
so we get 2 cries. 2 cries was a very collaborative effort between Nobody Nada, Professor School, myself. Most of the credit should go to Nobody Nada for finding it. He wrote a script to like figure it out, which is really freaking cool. But anyway, 2 cries was a huge thing. So this saves like an additional 2.5 or 3 seconds over the previous stand-up minute, I want to say, which is awesome.
That's it. Sorry, guys.
Anyway, I thought I lost it right there.
No way! No way, man!
So what's really funny about this,
That's so stupid!
it might have been sassy. That's true. That's true.
What the hell?
So what's really funny about this, like I said, when I was entering this grind, I was like, maybe if I'm super lucky and I work really, really hard, maybe I can get a 41 in game time. But somehow time kept falling off the record with like worse and worse runs. Does that make sense? Like it was really weird. And so it got to the point where I was like, I can definitely 41, but like, am I going to be able to mentally handle that? Like, am I, that's a hard thing to commit to. So that was September 2nd, the 112.39. And then September 25th. So a few weeks later, we got the 112.30 41 in game time, which when I'm thinking about my favorite world records, because somebody asked that earlier, 113.04, 112.53, 112.30, 41 in game time. Those are the 3 that immediately come to mind. Obviously, any percent 4022 is up there, maybe at the very top. Like that run might literally be at the top. And then RBO, probably my 58.37 from back in 2018, and the 56.07 that is current record right now. I love that run too. But this 112.30, we can watch the pop-off for this because it's pretty special to me. So
Aim down so we don't bounce off the sand. Grab the missile pad.
okay, so we're minus 18 at Spring Ball. Okay, so we're doing really good, like crazy pace, and I'm honestly freaking out at this point. Like, bro,
Game.
this is insane pace. We're still best possible time 111 this late in the run, which is absolute insanity. Okay, mess some stuff up in that segment, lost some time, and I think at this point I actually closed the splits. It might have been before that, but I closed the splits because I just couldn't handle seeing the time loss. I knew that if I saw the time loss, I would lose it. Okay, so I'm really glad that I had done that because we got down to only -4 at grapple, and that would have just been crushing in terms of motivation. -4, -3 at X-ray, -4 at G4. Okay, so we do the mother brain fight. We get 2 cries. We do other stand-up manip stuff to make it go faster.
That's fine.
Okay. Somebody asked earlier about Blue Bomber. There is a strat there. I'll try to remember to talk about it a little bit later, but there is a strat there that changed. I think it was Ostrich earlier was like, what was that strat? And I was like, that's the standard strat. Honestly, this right here is probably my #1 favorite moment in all of my speedruns, and I think you'll see why. So I'm messing up Parlor. Of course I am. You know, classic Zeni.
Killed it. I killed it.
So I killed it, didn't I? And I'm like distraught, right? Now people are like, dude, you got world record. Look at the timer. I knew that this was world record. I knew it was. I knew the run was good enough to be world record, but I thought I'd lost too much time for a 41.
I can't look. 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 Oh my gosh. Oh no. Beaglefish. 42. No way, dude! Oh my gosh! 41, dude!
So
No way!
that moment, watching the 41 get printed on my CRT here, I think I'll remember that forever. Just how absolutely mind-blowingly surprising that was to me. Just like, I can't believe I'm here in this place right now at 41, first ever 41 in game time. This is crazy. And you know, it's interesting to think back on that, because now it just seems natural. Like, yeah, I got the 41. I was working really hard for it. And yeah, it happened. But at the time, I mean, Behemoth was running. He was doing really good. He could have done this any day. And I think I was really worried. I was going to relive the 112 thing, where I was pushing so hard for it and somebody else got it first. And even though they were my friend, it was like really hard to process that. It was hard to process when it happened with Zost, and it would have been really hard to process here. And I think I was afraid of it like breaking me too. But it didn't. You know, this is what happened, and I'm happy about that. Obviously, I was very excited. And it is a great reaction. It's very emotional. And again, I even though I was still recovering from my burnout, this was still a pretty healthy reaction to this situation, I think. Now, unfortunately, what happened next was not super great. So we'll talk about that. I had to continue the 112, the 100% grind, because the tournament was still going on. But I was completely happy with that run, with the 112.30, okay? 100% completely happy. I could have walked away and been good. Would have been cool, everything, whatever. Totally fine. So there's the 112.30, okay? I continued because of the tournament, and that was in September. Now, November of that year, Sassy and I took a trip with our kids to celebrate our 10th wedding anniversary, and on that trip, I got really sick. I was sick for about 2 months, and I kept playing because I can't just not play for 2 months. But I was sick, so like my mic was muted a lot of the time because I didn't want to be like coughing and dying into the mic while people were trying to watch. And also just playing this game when you're sick is really, really, really difficult. Okay. So I had been working really hard on the category, and I was almost ready to be done when I started having some really promising paces again. And I don't remember exactly how long the tournament went on for. I think it ended in October, if I recall correctly. I think it ended in October, but I had some good paces, and I decided to just keep going for a little bit longer. I don't remember what my justification was for going longer. Like I said, I probably should have just walked away because I was so happy with this time. And then I was sick, was having a hard time, and something happened. So, don't worry about it. It's fine. We're just putting that run out of my brain. I decided... The run is gone. It never happened. Decided I would continue... That run never happened. It's fine. At least for the sake of New Year's magic, right? So, January 1st, 2024. What's up? I had been on a good pace just prior to this, which is what I was talking about when the run started. And I decided to just let it go. Whatever. What never happened? Exact. What never happened? Exact. So, run starts off. We're basically even. We're losing a little time. That's okay. We're in the red. That's okay. Then I get Fantoon, and I get the best pattern. Let's freaking go, dude! Okay. That one round pattern. That's the best pattern you can get. It's the fastest Fantoon fight you can get. It is a 12.5% chance that you get that pattern, and if you get the 1 round, you're really set for a great run, okay? So I get that, and I'm like, oh, this just got real, right? So we're minus 11. We get to gravity. We're minus 5. Eticoons, we're back to minus 11.
Okay.
Mama Turtle, minus 9. Dragon, minus 6.
And
Spring Ball, minus 7. Now, for some context, I had been working really hard on these next segments leading up to this because they were my biggest time saves. So we get to Screw Attack and we're minus 17. So this pace is actually insane. Okay. Then we get to Ridley, and this Ridley fight was also something I'd been working really hard on optimizing. This is not the best possible Ridley fight just because of the pattern that we got.
he gave us a bad pattern, but
Still pretty good. Pretty dang good. Okay. Okay. We're minus 18, minus 19. I am trying really hard to maintain composure here. Now, there was a new Wasteland strat. It had only been around for a couple months. It came out during the course of this grind. And the frustrating and ironic thing is that this is only barely faster than the old strat, but it's way more swaggy and it does save time. And it can manip the hoppers into a favorable position if you do it correctly. So that is why I decided to implement it and keep it. Okay. Unfortunately, if you do it wrong,
I can't believe it.
things can go very
believe it.
bad.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I can't believe it, dude. Oh my god. Okay.
So I lost literally my entire lead to that mistake. And that was really hard because I had been doing so much better mentally and emotionally, and that felt like a slap in the face. Especially because it was on New Year's Day, which was supposed to be like a special, like, oh yay, I always get really great runs on New Year's Day, and I did, and then I choked it, right? So that happened. I actually had the first week of the year off work, and that was the first day that I was off. I mean, I was off anyway because of the holiday, right? But I spent that entire week grinding, trying to get another run like that. Didn't happen. And at the end of that week of grinding is when I realized I was doing a disservice to myself. I was pushing too hard. I was carrying too much again. And so I took a break. And I think that was a good thing for me because it was the first time that I forced myself to take like a significant break from Super Metroid in the more healthy place that I was. I was like, you know what? I have to step away for a while. I know that runs have been going well, and I kind of felt trapped, to be honest, because the 1:12:30 was a run that was so amazing, and I was so satisfied, and I was so happy, right? And then I suddenly had a pace that was 20 seconds faster than that. I mean, can you imagine a 1:12:10? 1:12:0x at that time? And so I continued, but I started to feel kind of trapped in the category, and that started messing with me mentally because I felt like I don't want to do this anymore, but I do want to keep doing it. I don't want to give up. What do I do, right? January 30th, Behemoth took the record. And what's interesting is I wasn't upset about that, obviously. I mean, you know, it happens. But that just kind of further solidified me feeling trapped, even though I knew, like, okay, I don't have to continue. I could just let Behe have the record. It's fine. But the main reason I felt trapped was because, yeah, I mean, he had record, but I had a pace so much faster than that record or my previous record. So I kept pushing. And then something else really annoying happened. So I got a PB, and it was a 1:12:28.9. And this was after the 1:12:30, obviously. This was February 3rd. So this is 4 days after Behe's record, okay? So we're going to switch back here. 1:12:28. -4, lost the time. Oh, right. Fantoon. Gold, -15. That's right. -15, immediately lost all the time, okay? So that's frustrating. Gaining time back, slightly ahead, slightly ahead, slightly ahead. -4, -2.4. Okay, so we're on, you know, decently good pace here. We get 2 cries, and I'm trying to remember if it was this run or the next run. Let's look and find out. Okay, so this one's fine. So I finished out this run, and
Crappy Steam. Oh my.
I mean, obviously I was happy to finally PB. Oh, that happened too. But it was like, it's not a record, but it is a PB. It's not really what I want. The pace was so much better earlier in the run. I was just feeling like really...
I hate this PB.
I hate this PB, man. So especially it was hard because I hated that PB compared to the 112.30. Like, it was just so bad compared to the 112.30. But it was a PB, right? And that can be a hard thing to navigate as a speedrunner sometimes, I think. So that was February 3rd. Okay. February 11th, I get a 112.26. So this, I have splits to show how far ahead I am of Behemoth as well. Okay. Screw attack, I'm at -9. Great pace. Ridley, -7. Let's make this bigger. Lose all that time. So we're only -1 at grapple, -2 at x-ray. And we're actually behind at G4. Still behind at Mother Brain. And then I'm slightly ahead going into the escape. Okay. Oh, let's see if we can point out this blue bomber strat. So this is a strat I messed up. I started implementing a strat with a down back into that door.
Oh, are you kidding
to save
me?
like half a second.
Oh my god.
It's really hard though. Anyway, so I had saved some time on this escape, and then I missed that.
Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh.
So this could have potentially been record,
Sealed the teeth. Gosh damn it.
but it wasn't because I screwed up
PB.
the top of
I
climb.
guess.
Top of climb. It's a PB, I guess.
Oh man.
So what's interesting about this, what's hard about this is like I was emotionally reacting in a more or less healthy way, but I was pushing myself a little too hard. And it's frustrating to think back on it because I was aware of it, but again, I didn't know what else to do. So that was February 11th. Then on February 12th, I get another PB, 112.25. So basically, here's another -10, -7, -6, -6, -6. I was getting paces every day, getting amazing paces every day. -15 at grapple, -13 at x-ray. Lost some time on the way to G4, still -7, still world record pace. Mother Brain fight is really not that hard in this category. Just got to get 2 cries. Can we get 2 cries? Here's the 2 cries manip. Okay, we get 2 cries.
I really thought I screwed that up.
I had been missing it recently at the time. Okay, so at this point, like, we got it in the bag. This should be record. Everything's good. Everything's cool. And then something else happened. Remember when I said earlier there's always new mistakes to make in Super Metroid? So this is something that was never hard for me. And I'll try and explain this because otherwise it's not going to make sense to you guys. So when the baby finishes filling your energy, it locks in place. Okay. Also, the baby is taking damage from Mother Brain here, and the cutscene will not continue until the baby's energy or HP has been depleted to 0 by the damage that it's taking from Mother Brain. During these jumps, you got to make sure that Mother Brain doesn't miss any onion rings, or you'll lose an entire cycle. Meh, meh, meh. Okay. And every cycle is like a second. Okay, so right there, Mother Brain missed a shot. And you can see me like, what? Okay. In addition to that, when the baby detaches, what it does is it flies over to the right side of the screen over here, and then it lunges at Mother Brain. But depending on what its position is, when it starts flying to the right side of the screen, it can do so either faster or slower. I, for whatever reason, was on the floor down here, even though I knew that I needed to put the baby over here next to the wall. And so that lost another...
That's so bad, dude!
6 seconds. 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds. So if you look at the PB video, look at the PB video compared to this right here.
No, that's so bad, dude! Oh my god. Shoot. One missed onion ring cost us like 3 or 4 seconds. Crap, dude!
All right. So we're still a few seconds ahead. Like 2. Like 2 seconds ahead. There's a forbidden tech. Do the down back into the door shell.
No.
Good old Leodoc's room, huh? So once again, could have been record
serious?
pace.
The worst possible freaking piece of... No, dude! Come on! Come on, man!
One day at a time, 1 second at a time, right? February 12th. February 25th, so a couple weeks later, we get a 112.24 0.02. This had no spike suit, no spike suit for X-ray. So again, lost a bunch of time in the late game, and just generally, you know, it's just another 1 second PB. This was technically record. So if you look at the record progression, it was technically record by 0.2 seconds. But yeah, I still wasn't satisfied with the run because I had so many paces that were so much better by this point. And again, if I had just left after the 1:12:30, like, would have been better off. But that's okay, you know, learning experience, and you know what, I'll probably make that mistake again in the future too anyway. So last 100% run and current 100% world record, we have the 1:12:17. Now this run, let's see, so it was in the red for a bunch of the run, red or purple, okay, understandably, because I kept losing so much time in the late game, right? So we get to X-ray, we're ahead. Get to G4, we're ahead. Mother Brain, we're ahead. We do the stand up, we do 2 cries right here. Okay, so we do 2 cries, and finally I have another run where I don't friggin' mess up this baby manip. So we save a few more seconds on that. And then, so I know, like, at this part of the run, I know we're on pace, I know we're on good pace. Probably good enough pace to be done with the category for now. And all I'm thinking about is that one time in KPDR when 42 was free and I got the wall jump morph, right? I'm like, don't do that. And then it happens. And I save it. Save it with a down grab. So we'll watch that again real quick. Okay. Oh. Get in the ship! All right. So what's really interesting about this run, am I happy with it? Yes. Am I completely satisfied with it? No, even though I was completely satisfied with the 1:12:30. But again, I was at the point in the grind, I had to move on. I was tired. I was exhausted of the same deal over and over. I kept getting 1 second incremental PBs, losing the run right at the end to the stupidest crap. Like, eventually, I just had to, like, call it, right? So I did. And you know, I'm glad I made that decision. But it was a tough thing. Ultimately, I ended up getting, I think, 7, unless I already updated this. 7 in game time, 41, which is amazing. It's amazing that I did that. When I didn't even know if I'd get 1 in the first place. So that was cool.